Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another GNN news review. And it's finally here, the collaboration that Tower Saviors or Mad Hit announced during TGS. It's finally here. The Meiji Swordman or the Ruruoni Kenshin anime collaboration is coming to us next week. So we have a lot of exciting news. We have a brand new seal. So without further ado, let's get started with this GNN news review. So this seal is going to have 7 characters. 3 of them are presumably going to be jackpot cards based on this image. One being the 1% jackpot card, which obviously it's going to be the main protagonist of this anime, and 4 non-jackpot cards. And I'm pretty happy that we're back to a regular seal drawing machine. We don't have 4 jackpots, we don't have 40 draws, we don't have anything like that. So I'm excited for that. It's been a while since we had one of them. But yeah, as always, every collab will have its own exclusive team skill. For this one, the Ruruoni Kenshin members will deal more damage to gashed enemies, and when a gashed enemy attacks, you have 20% chance of dodging that attack. Not super great. I think 1.5 damage against a gashed enemy isn't that much damage, and plus gashed is a status condition, and there's a lot of enemies nowadays that do not get statused, so not that great. And 20% chance of dodging an attack is honestly not great, because you don't want to be banking on that when you're playing the game. You want to just have consistency, and if you kill the enemy, they cannot attack you, so that 20% chance of dodging, not super great in my opinion. But yeah, moving on to the main course of this GNN, and we have the 1% jackpot card, and his leader skill is actually very stacked with multipliers. You have a ×10 base, which is honestly the standard now, a ×2 for the collab members, a ×6.5 whenever you do 10 combos or more, but you do more combos by dissolving heart runes, so you have extra combos as well. So it's basically just multiplier on multiplier. You might see that he is going to rely a lot on heart runes, because heart runes will give him more combos, and the more combos you do, the more your team attack will be. So in terms of his team skill, we have the collab exclusive skill, and we have a lot of staples like extended runes to movement time. We have cooldown reduction to 0 after entering the stage for all the collab members. We have runes of possession effects, sticky and burning nullify, and we have enchanted human trail. If you dissolve runestones of the member's attribute, team attack ×5, and damage will be dealt regardless of fixed combo shield and puzzle shield. And by dissolving one row or one column, like one full row or one full column in the first batch, the leader will stun the enemy for 1 round. And honestly, this is pretty good. Very good controlling skill, and with a very easy condition. A column of 5 is honestly one of the easiest conditions to do. You're not doing a plus, you're not doing a T, you're not doing an L. A column of one column of 5 is honestly a very easy condition. But yeah. And lastly, we have his main gameplay mechanic, which is going to be at the end of the round, you will get a target, and depending on how you slash it, I'm guessing because I haven't played the collab yet, you can slash it vertically, and you get a 2.5 attack bonus and a cooldown for your Kenshin Himura. And if you do diagonal slashes, you get 1.5 for your attack, but you also get a damage reduction effect, so that's pretty good. If you double click the target, you deal a snipe damage of 100 million, and honestly that's pretty good. I think the extra attack is going to be your go-to every time you win, but you do have the option to snipe the enemy, so you don't have to bring a sniper particularly with you when you're running a Kenshin team. If none of the patterns are made, you do get a fire column underneath the leader, so that's also pretty good. So yeah, what do I think about this card, I actually don't think I don't know. It doesn't really stand out to me in terms of playstyle. And there's a couple conflicting things as well, right? Because, well, his leader skill itself has very good multipliers and very good attacks, so it's going to be really good. And it also has the flexibility of using any human team, human support that you want. So you can bring like Yoko from Gurren Lagann, you can bring Circe, Medea, Cassandra, all the human cards that you can think of, you can bring them into the team. However, I think the problem here is that there's not that much going for him in terms of like main gameplay. So you can see that his main thing is using hearts to generate combos. But you also have this condition here that you dissolve runestones of the member's attributes, you get a team attack times 5. That's honestly going to be a super easy condition when you run a rainbow team. But where are your heart runes, right? If you want max damage, you have to dissolve, like, 10 heart runes, which only leaves you 20 other runes on your board for that. But also, you don't want to get rid of all the attributed runestones, right? So I don't know, it's a little bit conflicting, and his gameplay seems very vanilla, honestly. It just spin and kill. And if you dissolve one row or column, you get a stun, but you don't get anything else. So I do think that there should have been something more bam or more wow factor for the 1% jackpot card specifically. The target thing is pretty fun, but the effects that you get from it are also kind of mid. So, you know, overall, I think he is going to be a pretty good leader. He has the damage, he has the shield breaks. But his playstyle seems a little bit bland in my opinion for a 1% jackpot. Now moving on to his active skill, here is where he truly shines in my opinion, because this active skill is absolutely insane. If you ever play with, I don't know, Dagda or the Earth dude from JoJo or Megumi Fujiguro, the fact that you have 4 different active skills in one is actually really good because it gives you a lot of flexibility and it helps you consolidate your roles and makes him a really good member. And here's the thing, right? It's a CD6 skill, which is pretty fast, and you get 4 effects, and all these effects are actually pretty good. The first one gives you extra combos, it gives you an extra ×4 attack bonus, it gives you 5 attributive attacks, which helps break some shields. It also, it launches extra attacks. The second one, Ryutsui-san, it gives you a super nuke, which ignores initial shield and anti-runestone shield. And it also prevents your other members from launching any attacks, which in the past, it wasn't super good, but nowadays with enemies that have counter burn, which deal a lot of damage if all 6 members launch an attack, this effect is actually really good because it limits that counter burn to a single member, and that is actually could save you in a lot of scenarios when that counter burn is very high. Soryu-sen removes tornado and laser trap and explodes the first and 6 columns, and yeah, basically it also helps you ignore Quintet Elemental Shield, stuns the enemies, and also launches non-attributive after attacks as well. So all in all, just pretty good utility, specifically the Quintet Elemental Shield break. And lastly, you also get a defensive skill, and one of the best ones because it reduces damage to 0, which basically ignores percentage reduction, bloody sight, etc. And also it gives you a -3 cooldown reduction, which allows you to activate the skills later on faster as well. So, you know, it's all in all a very good active skill. The only thing is that it focuses a lot on Kenshin himself, so it's like a lot of self-attack increase, ×4 character ×15. This one gives you a lot of stuff, but it also has a leader condition for removing or generating a fixed board. Otherwise, you only generate 2 columns of enchanted human fire runes. And the dodge is honestly one of the best defensive skills, definitely a good thing to have. So all in all, as a member, he truly is a great member because of the flexibility of having multiple active skills in just one. But yeah, that being said though, if your strat for diamonds, I wouldn't really get him for the active skill because not only, I don't know, the active skill will shine the best with a leader in the future, but you're basically gambling that there is going to be a leader that can use him. And honestly, any fire or any human leader in the future could potentially slot him in, but who knows when the next one that's going to come out is going to be. So I don't know if you want to gamble for that, specifically because his leader skill, although it's pretty useful, I wouldn't really recommend him really right now. I might have to test him, but I don't really think he's worth the 1% jackpot card status. But yeah, I don't know, this is the first time I feel about this in a collaboration, because normally collaboration cards are very fun and very cool. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we're spoiled from all the black gold cards that ignore everything and anything, but it seems like he's a little bit lacking in the leader department. But yeah, okay, moving on to the next jackpot card, we have Hajime Saito, which is a dark leader, dark human leader, and he has lower multipliers, but he is also pretty good. He has a ×9, ×8, and a -3 cooldown after entering the stage. So a very basic leader skill all in. For his team skill though, also a couple of staples: extended burst of movement time, extra stats, sticky nullification, electrified counter. Here's his main thing here. He deals 100 million damage to all enemies when you enter the next wave. And you also make the enemies enter a gash state, which is absolutely insane, because remember, the collaboration exclusive team skill relies on that gash. And I will say though, kind of a shame that Kenshin doesn't make your enemies enter gash state, so he doesn't have a consistent way of triggering his own collaboration team skill. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, Hajime Saito will allow you to make the enemies enter the gash state. So, and this will stay until the enemy dies. So basically, you benefit from the collaboration exclusive team skill at all times with this card. Runes of Possession effect and Dark Trail, which allows you to trigger his second team skill here, where by dissolving one group of 5 runes in the shape of an eye or horizontal row, you get extra combos, extra attacks, and shield break potential. So, like I said, dissolving a 1 column is definitely super easy, especially when you generate 5 runestones while moving. So that is going to be good. Honestly, I feel like his playstyle is going to be more fun than the 1% jackpot card, but that's just me. Yeah, this feels a little bit more balanced in terms of what the team wants to do, right? You want to get 5 or more combos, which is easy because you can get extra combos, 5 combos from your team skill. So very good synergy there. You get gash state, which works really well with your collaboration team skill. So all in all, I think that this leader skill is more complete than Kenshin's, and that is weird. But yeah, he does seem a little bit fun. In terms of his active skill, CD6, we have a release skill, a fixed board convert, and a recovery reduction, which is very useful nowadays. You wouldn't have thought this in the past when Tower of Savior started, but reducing your recovery is actually pretty useful nowadays. Self-attack increase and then guaranteed sky drop, as well as scorching damage ignore. So honestly, this card is going to be an amazing member now for a Kenshin team or a collaboration team. Yeah, running Kenshin team. But also in the future, this is going to be a really good member skill as well, because this doesn't have any conditions for Ruruoni Kenshin. Well, the guaranteed sky drop does, but the scorching areas and the recovery reduction is going to be really good for any teams in the future. I mean, being a human, he will always be competing with Cassandra, which Cassandra is a permanent recovery reduction. This one's just one round, but the scorching areas is definitely going to be very useful for any teams in the future. But yeah, so I think this is a pretty good card to go for if you're willing to pull, or if you're going to pull for this series. Last jackpot card, we have Sanosuke Sagara, which is going to be a Earth human leader, and he has the same multipliers as Hajime Saito a little bit, times 9, but you also have a self HP attack and recovery bonus, and a times 5 bonus for 20 runestone dissolved, which is honestly not that bad. And damage reduction and runestone position effect. No, not runestone position effect, but extra attacks on his leader skill. Not bad for his leader skill, actually. In terms of his team skill, we do have, again, a lot of staples like extra runestone movement time, board debuff removal. You will not enter a fatigue state. And at the beginning of the stage and at the end of each round, you generate 3 or 9 runes. Actually, 3 runes in each column below a Kenshin member, except the leader, into enchanted human runestones of the corresponding member's attribute, and the bottom 3 runestones below the leader into enchanted heart runes, which is pretty good because it works with your extra attack from your leader's skill. And by dissolving runestones of the member's attributes in the team, you get a team attack times 6 and also shield break potential, or initial shield and equal combo shield. And again, this team skill is, or this leader skill and team skill combo feels more complete than Kenshin's too, because a lot of the things that you have going for you here also play really well with your leader skill. Specifically, the runestone conversion helps you with the number of runestones dissolved, since you're generating 18 just by existing. You also get the 2 extra non-attributive attacks no matter what, because you are generating heart runes below your leader. And because you're generating runestones of the members' attributes, provided they are Kenshin members, you are also dissolving runestones of the member's attribute, which allows you to benefit from this team skill every single round. So, see, it feels more complete than Kenshin's, because Kenshin gives you extra combo for hearts, but you don't have a way to generate hearts. So, I don't know. It is conflicting. But I feel like the other 2 jackpot cards have better team skills, better leader, and better gameplay styles. But yeah, honestly not bad. You know, I'm excited to play with the 2 smaller jackpots. But yeah, in terms of active skill, we have a remove tornado for 1 round, explode all runes, or remove all runes depending on your leader, but to generate a fixed board. And the character's attack times 6, you stun the enemies for 1 round, and by dissolving 20 or more runestones, or 20 or more heart runes, the character skill -5 at the end of the round, which means that if you are able to dissolve 20 runes every time, 20 heart runes every time, you should be able to keep a 100% uptime on this skill. Here's the thing, we don't know what the fixed board is, but the fixed board is heart and leader's attribute, which means that if you have 20 or more heart runes from that fixed board, then this active skill is amazing because it basically means you have a permanent times 6 self attack bonus and a permanent enemy stun on the end. That is really good. Just to put into perspective, people use Kurapika a lot back in the day, and he was a permanent times 4 attack multiplier. So having a times 6 is going to be an amazing tool if you can maintain that permanent uptime with 20 or more armors. But yeah, honestly, not bad at all. So I do think his active skill is very niche. I don't think he will see a lot of play in the future because 20, even if you have a fixed board, right, that provides you with 20 heart runes, you are banking on the fact that future leaders will want to have a focus on heart runes. A lot of leaders don't really focus on heart runes, especially human teams. So generating 20 heart runes in one round isn't super viable for everyone. So we'll see. But yeah. Okay, now we move on to the non-jackpot cards, which are actually pretty good and pretty vanilla this time. Kaoru Kamiya gives you a fixed board and gives you 5 extra attacks for each Kenshin, Kaoru, or Yahiko. And if the leader is a Ruruoni Kenshin member, you get A- for cooldown reduction the first time every round, which means that you have the ability to have permanent uptime every round, which is pretty good, specifically if your Kenshin can launch 5 extra attacks and kill the enemies faster. He doesn't generate heart runes, so again, Kenshin will not benefit from that combo increase and damage increase as well. You know, but yeah. Bonding skills are pretty good. Okay, next we have Yahiko Myojin, CD5. Tap 1 runestone to explode that row and generate enchanted human runes of that type. For 1 round, humans and Kenshin members attack increases by 1.8 and will break defense. So this is pretty good. And if the leader is a Kenshin member, and upon the character's first skill activation, skill cooldown -4. So again, you can have permanent uptime, but in this case, it's not going to be that useful because the only thing you're gaining is a 1.8 attack bonus, which is not that great, and a explode row to generate 1 fixed row, which is pretty good for a. Actually, it's very good for a Hajime Saito and a Kenshin team, because you do have that condition where if you dissolve a 1 row or 1 column, you get benefits from it. So honestly, pretty. It works nicely, but if you're decently good at the game, you kind of don't need this, and you can bring something better that gives you more benefits, like Circe. She gives you, what is it, initial shield break or fixed combo shield break, as well as the insane damage output that you get. So she would be better than a Yahiko as an Earth Human support card. Next we have Megumi Takani, and in my opinion, I think this is the best non-jackpot card there is for this seal. One, you are restoring crack positions, which is not everyone can do at all in the game, so just having that is going to be really good. And not only does she restore crack positions for a Kenshin team, she will also be able to restore crack positions for a Mono Dark team, which honestly is going to be really good in the future too. And she also has Poison Ignore as well as a full HP recovery, so all in all, very good utility for now and in the future. So in my opinion, one of the best non-jackpot cards, and if anything, I hope that you get this from your free draws, because she is going to be great even if you don't want to play a Kenshin team. And lastly, we have Tsubame Sanjo. clear the fatigue state of the leader and Kenshin members, and time tunnel as well as attack boost. So CD5 time tunnel is going to be really nice, but other than that, she doesn't really. It's a very simple active skill, and CD5 is really good, and time tunnel, one of the best active skills in the game, so definitely good to have. Nothing too broken in terms of utility. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention about Megumi Takani is that she also helps you ignore burning by having Sanosuke Sagara as a just by owning Sanosuke Sagara. So she can potentially help you ignore burning, but you do have to pull one of the jackpot cards. But yeah, so that's going to be the entire seal. So before we move on, what do I think about this? I honestly think that this is a very easy skip. Specifically if you're saving for diamonds. Because here's the thing, right? Like, a lot of the collaborations are just humans, and we just had JoJo, which is all humans. And the JoJo leaders had more interesting playstyles, and they don't really fall that short in terms of damage multipliers. And this seal is very simple. It's very vanilla, right? There's no like complicated gimmick, there's no complicated things. The gameplay is very simple. You have a 5-rune trail, you have 3 runestones on the bottom, things like that. Kenshin doesn't really even have a runestone generation effect, right? But yeah, so it is very simple, but I don't know. JoJo was dark, the other dude was earth, so we are doubling up on elements. The only one that doesn't double up is the 1% Jackal card, so Kenshin Himura, which is a fire human card, which we haven't had in a while. But does that justify the 175 diamonds that you're going to have to spend for this seal? And personally, I honestly don't think so. Especially because their active skills are not something that you're gonna miss out on if you don't get them. There's so many other options in the game. Hajime Saito, I think he will be really good because of role consolidation. Kenshin will also be role consolidation. I don't know, Sanosuke Sagara, he is just okay. I could definitely see some uses for him. And the other non-jackpot cards, specifically like Kaoru and Yahiko, are just okay. Not great for other teams because you don't get the cooldown reduction if you're not running a Kenshin leader. So for other teams, you might as well slot something else, because their only benefit is that they get a cooldown reduction on the Kenshin team, which allows you to spam it more often. So that's why you want to run them. But if you don't get that, you can definitely get by with other cards in the game. Megumi Takani definitely worth getting, but other than that, and then Sumabe Sanjo CD5 time tunnel, and yeah, CD5 time tunnel, but everything else is very Kenshin focused. Fatigue state of Kenshin members, and Kenshin members attack and recovery tank 1. So having a time tunnels and a 1.5 bonus for other teams definitely can be easily replaced by something. So all in all, the overall value that you will get from pulling for this seal is not going to be that great, because you're not getting a lot of valuable cards that are future proof, and the leaders are honestly just okay in my opinion. So I would definitely, this is the first time I'm saying this, but this would be the first collaboration that I would skip if you're trying to optimize your diamond. But yeah, hey, let's speed run the rest. Item collecting mission, exclusive dragon word that, you know, at this point I shouldn't have to say it, but definitely get it because they're always good. And we have the first ultimate stage that features GNN, which is a dark human with a CD7 skill. Effect clearing and eclipsing is definitely a good thing, also restoring runes to the normal state. So he does provide a good utility that is useful for any teams, and it doesn't have any archetype specific restrictions, so you can use this for any dark team in the future. However, CD7 is going to be a little bit slow, so you know, trade-offs. But I do think he is going to be worth getting one dual max copy because he does provide very good utility, and it doesn't require you to run a Kenshin team to benefit from these effects. But yeah, new challenge stage, 2 lawless brothers, earth humans with a CD6 skill. It's just okay. Other than Hajime Saito, this would be the only way to get a gash state for now from what we know. So if you want to trigger your Kenshin specific team skill, you might have to get this card. And honestly, they're not bad because they provide attack bonuses and also gives you extra attacking runes for the 3 columns left. And you can also break initial shield. But honestly, it's not that useful because it's just a self initial shield break, and you get 8x2 character attack bonus, which honestly is not that great. They should have given him more character attack bonus so that this initial shield break would have more oomph and more reason to be there. But yeah, that's, I mean, it's a challenge stage card, so it's an easy free card, so might as well get it, right? But yeah, that's all for the collab, and now we move to 2 last things: a new collecting mission for Easter and a new battle pass. So battle pass cards always, you know, free, and this time we have Baldwin, CD7 Fire Human, and honestly his skill is just okay. Tap 1 runestone to generate 1 column of enchanted fire human runes, row and column. Team attack times 2.5 if your HP is full before runestone movement. Otherwise, your leader and ally get a ×5 attack. So this ×5 attack is going to be really nice for leaders that focus their damage on themselves. But still, CD7 is definitely very slow. But I think they give him a really long cooldown because of the 4th effect, where if the enemy's HP is less than 25%, you instantly kill it. And I don't know. It sounds nice on paper, but in order for you to get an enemy to below 25%, it means that something went wrong, your damage output is not there. Because if you can get an enemy to less than 25%, you can most certainly bring it to 0% just by, I don't know, activating another active skill or spinning better. So I don't know if you would want to slot this card in because there's no cooldown reduction, so spamming it also doesn't help. Unlike running a triple reboot team, you know? So yeah, I mean, battle pass card, it's a free card, just get it. Not much to say there. And yeah, that's going to be the end of this GNN news. Please let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong or if I missed out on anything. As always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of English content. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone! 生活充满乐趣，开始迎来最初旋律。